Brother and sister veterans, we're here today with Eric Trump, and it's a great day. I
want to make sure everybody knows that Admiral Kubik was with us from the very beginning. He was back in '16 and is a real warrior. I was so glad some of the Navy senior flag officers were standing up. That Flynn.
Hey everybody, Brick Suit here. I am in a fabulous event for President Trump rally hosted by Turning Point Action. And I know we all love our veterans, but there's a group out there you really check out. It's Veterans for America First. They support all sorts of America First candidates, and they have a veteran focus I'm sure you're going to like, because we love our veterans. President Trump loves our veterans. Give them a look-see.
Hey, what's up, man? It's 4G out of Well. I want to give a shout out to Veterans of America, Veterans First. We need to put more respect on our veterans and not our illegal immigrants. Trump 2024.
Hey folks, it's John Myrick here, Veterans for Trump, incredible organization. We love our vets. Without men and women willing to sacrifice and die if necessary for our country, we wouldn't have a country. And we all know that. Much respect and much love. God bless you.
Perfect.
Hey, Congressman Mike Collins here. Listen, a big shout out to Veterans for America First, organization out there doing great things, backing candidates and helping our veterans, people who really need your help and deserve all the gratitude. Debt we could never repay them. Thank you for what you're doing. Keep up the hard work.
To all the veterans out there, especially Veterans for America First, we have got to deliver Trump victory. God bless, let's save this country.
Hi, it's House Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik, representative for New York's 21st Congressional District. Thank you to Veterans for America First for all your hard work. We know that President Trump strongly supports our veterans, and our veterans must turn out to vote for him. Thank you very much. Let's save America.
Hey, Georgia and Veterans for Donald J. Trump. You are the reason President Trump prioritizes national security, because we do not want to send our sons and daughters to fight another man's war anymore. You guys are the reason we are safe and secure in this country, and it's about time we put a commander-in-chief back in office to prioritize our veterans and our armed forces. Vote DJT.
Hey everybody, it's former Congressman Doug Collins, also Colonel, United States Air Force Reserve. For our America First veterans out there, thank you for the service, thank you for the work. We got a lot of work ahead. You keep doing what you're doing, we always got your back.
Hey, Congressman Jim Jordan here. Just want to say thank you for helping Veterans for America First and all the great work they're doing.
And thank you for helping me in my campaign. You were my first endorsement, so too was Chairman Jordan. Let's get out of it. Thank you.
I'm Jerry Craig with Veterans for America First, and I'm happy to announce our endorsement of our friend John Myrick for the governor of Maryland. He's a 23-year Air Force Reserve veteran, and he's an America First candidate who we believe is best suited for the governor's race in 2026. To your voters, a little bit about yourself, your history working in politics, what's motivated you to run for the governor's race, what you plan to do when you get there, and tell the voters what your plan of attack is.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Craig, for having me and for the endorsement of Veterans for America First. I'm humbled by the endorsement, and will endeavor to live up to the expectations thereof. I am John Myrick, as you said. I am running as a Republican candidate for governor of the state of Maryland. I grew up in Maryland. I was raised in Harford County. I was a Harford County deputy sheriff for a while early on in my career. So I understand what it takes to protect Marylanders. As you said, I spent 23 years in the Air Force Reserve. I'm a highly decorated combat veteran. I also served in the federal government as a senior intelligence officer for a variety of federal agencies, retiring in 2013. I'm considered widely by the federal government as an expert in asymmetric threats, those being counterterrorism, counterintelligence, counterdrug, and counter weapons of mass destruction. I've lectured at universities throughout the country on national security policy, and I've testified before Congress on over 100 occasions on various national security issues, briefing senators and congressmen individually, heads of state, NATO leadership, and federal governments from other allied nations as well. I bring to the table an ability to reach consensus. I'm considered an expert negotiator. I am a certified arbiter for the for FINRA, and I bring with me the ability to bring together parties with differing views and differing opinions and reach a consensus. And that's what Maryland needs right now.
John, when you become governor of Maryland, what is your first plan when you take office?
Well, Maryland right now is undergoing a severe financial crisis. The current governor inherited 2.5 or 2 years ago when he took office, he had a $5.5 billion surplus in the state treasury. This year's projected budget deficit here in Maryland is $3.3 billion. So he has burned through a $5.5 billion surplus and put us into a situation where we are now looking at a $3.3 billion deficit in a state that requires a balanced budget by Constitution. So in order to do that, he is elected to raise taxes and fees by almost $7 billion this year, which is going to cripple the state, including not only fees that will affect every Marylander, but that will also affect every Maryland business. So one of my first priorities when I get into the governor's mansion is to meet with our state legislative leadership. And in this state, currently, we have a Democratic supermajority in our General Assembly, but most of those people are reasonable individuals. They're Marylanders too. The problems facing Maryland right now are not Democrat or Republican issues. They're issues that touch every Marylander. And meeting with them and bringing them to understand that we need to work together to come up with innovative solutions that don't bankrupt the state and don't cause Maryland taxpayers more pain is my first priority.
Well, that makes sense. I also know that there's a lot of citizens of Maryland that work in DC, that work in the federal agencies. And with I'll say the DOGE department cutting back in a lot of the three-letter agencies, that increased tax burden on the population of Maryland is going to be even worse. If they're looking to transfer from public sector to private sector jobs, some of them are probably going to have to cross the river going to Virginia for work. And the additional burden of taxes, while they're already trying to readjust in the market, I think you're going to really appeal to a large number of people, Maryland voters is what I'm getting. So with that being said, let me ask, does Maryland have the race where you choose your own lieutenant governor that runs with you? Do they have an independent race for lieutenant governor?
No, my lieutenant governor will run on the ticket with me, so it will be a choice that I make. And we are currently in the process of speaking with several individuals from throughout the state who I think would make excellent lieutenant governors.
Good.
And as you stated, Maryland, the federal government is actually Maryland's largest employer. So these DOGE cuts, which I am fully in favor of, and actually I advocated in my race for the Senate before DOGE was DOGE. I would like to do that similar process here in the state of Maryland to account for every dollar of taxpayer money spent. But our current governor came back from a meeting at the White House about a week and a half ago and publicly said that he cannot work with this administration. Now, the federal government is our largest employer. And as the governor of the state of Maryland, you better figure out how to work with our largest employer. And if you can't, you have no business sitting in that office. I can work with the federal government. I've spent a career working with Democrats and Republicans at the federal level. I can reach consensus, and I will have absolutely no problem working with the federal government to come up with solutions to mitigate some of the damage that is being done to the Maryland economy through these DOGE cuts.
Yeah, and if someone says, hey, I can't work with someone, and they're refusing to work with someone out of some principles or philosophical reasons. And I think that the new administration in DC, the Trump administration, is yanking a knot in some people's tails. The luncheon with all the governors, I was appalled at how many of them were sneering from their tables as though they believed that that was a roast of Donald Trump. But I think that governors, their primary role is to bring business to the state in which they represent and to protect the citizens and to enrich the services provided by the state government. So I think that if you're dealing with someone now who's kicking and screaming and writhing and being the petulant child with the interactions between the state of Maryland and the federal government, you might be a breath of fresh air to the citizens and seeing something function. There's no better policy than common sense and simplicity and keeping the balanced budget as you're constitutionally bound and the functions of government proper and organized. I think that more states need to focus that way. Or when you win this race, I hope this is a snowball effect or a domino effect for all of the area up there that has been historically Democrat for years.
Yes, it has been. I mean, the Maryland General Assembly hasn't had a Republican-controlled General Assembly in over 100 years. So we've been controlled by Democrats the entire time. We've had various Republican governors throughout the years, but they always face an uphill battle when you're fighting with the General Assembly, who overrides vetoes at will. So we're working on a plan to help try to make the General Assembly override proof as well in 2026. But you're right, a governor needs to bring economic opportunity to the state. And this governor not being willing to work with our largest employer is indicative of some of the problems that we have. This governor has spent us to death, quite frankly. He is in 2 years hired 5,500 state employees. That's a cost of about $500 million in salaries alone each and every year. He's also announced that he intends to hire at least 5,000 federal employees who are being affected by the DOGE layoffs to state government. I'd like to know where he's going to get the money to do that, given the fact that we're in a deficit situation. And his answer obviously is raising taxes. And I'm talking about all kinds of ridiculous taxes. They want to add a 2-cent per ounce tax to sugared beverages, soft drinks. So that's going to add another 40 cents per soda for a 20-ounce soda to Marylanders. That's going to affect every Marylander.
What's the left not learned that does not work? People don't like that. People are not big fans of the "you can't have it," and if so, we'll punish you.
Exactly.
Well, John, if voters wanted to find out more about you and your campaign, and donors wanted to find out where to donate their time or their money, where would you direct the voters?
I'd ask voters to take a look at my platforms, my positions, and my background on our website, which is John Myrick, and that's spelled MYRICK, for mdgovernor.org. On the website, you'll find tabs for contacting us to volunteer. There's a tab to donate if you're so inclined to do so, which, of course, we wholeheartedly encourage. Unfortunately, these races cost a ridiculous amount of money to run. And any donation from a supporter is valued. So I would ask people to look at that webpage. If they have questions or concerns, there's a phone number on that webpage. That phone number is actually my cell phone number, because if you take your time to ask a question of the person that's looking for your vote, you deserve to speak with the person who's looking for your vote, not with a staffer. And I answer every phone call. I also answer every email request. My staff doesn't do it. I answer every email, comment, or question that comes in off of our website. And again, because if you are taking your time to ask a question to the person seeking your vote, you deserve to get an answer from that person.
Well, John, we are proud to endorse you, and we're proud to support your campaign. I think the citizens of the state of Maryland would be blessed to have you as the governor. And we ask that the voters of Maryland, so the phrase "put your money where your mouth is," I prefer "put your money where your heart is." Put your money where your family is. Put your money where you are, and focus on your pursuit of happiness. The life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is more than just a quotation. It is a way of life, and I believe that your campaign and the America First agenda Maryland First agenda for Maryland will rejuvenate that American spirit. And we want you to win this race in 2026. And if there's anything we can do to assist you with that, John, we are more than happy to assist. So thank you very much. And we will keep up with you as the race goes on.
Well, again, thank you very much, Jared, for the endorsement and for your confidence. And you're right, we can restore Maryland prosperity for Marylanders if we take a common sense approach and put accountability back into Annapolis, back into our state government, which I will do. And again, I appreciate the endorsement. I appreciate your confidence, and I appreciate your time.